evening. It's time for Royal Challengers Bangalore versus Gujarat Titans at the Wankhede Stadium. And Gujarat Titans have won the toss and have opted to bat first. That's right. It's a do-or-die match for Faf Du Plessis and the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Not only do they have to win this game today, but they would also want Delhi Capitals to lose their game. That's the equation for Royal Challengers Bangalore. For Gujarat Titans, they have won the toss and have opted to bat first. They are already at the top of the points table and have qualified for the playoffs, but they made just one change to their playing 11. Lockie Ferguson comes in place of Alzari Joseph, whereas for Royal Challengers Bangalore, one change for them as well. Mohammad Siraj, who's been expensive in the tournament, he is rested, and Siddharth Kaul comes in to this match. A very, very important match for Royal Challengers Bangalore, as we've been saying, do-or-die encounter for them. Gujarat Titans also do not want to lose the momentum. There was an option for them to bench some of their players and test their bench strength, but they decided not to and have now gone in with just one change. For Royal Challengers Bangalore also, there's just one change of Siddharth Kaul coming in for Mohammad Siraj. But all eyes will be on Virat Kohli yet again. He has struggled in the tournament, and how will he be able to get a big score today? That's a big question. Royal Challengers Bangalore, if they want to have any chances, any hopes of making it to the playoffs, their big three need to fire. Faf Du Plessis has been batting well, has been scoring runs, but it is Virat Kohli who struggled throughout the tournament, and Glenn Maxwell as well has been inconsistent, and that's where their batting has struggled. For Gujarat Titans, somebody or the other, when they found themselves in trouble, has put their hand up and said, I'm going to save you tonight. And that has been done by several players from the team, be it Shubman Gill, Rashid Khan, Rahul Tewatia, David Miller, Hardik Pandya himself. You've seen different heroes in different matches for Gujarat Titans, but in the end, they've done well to get to the top of the table, the first team to qualify in the playoffs. Okay, so lots at stake for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Nikhil, let's take a look at the playing 11 first for Royal Challengers Bangalore. And again, we've said this time and again, but Virat Kohli, Glenn Maxwell, Faf Du Plessis, it's important for them to score runs. And it is also important that, excuse me, that their bowlers do well against Gujarat Titans openers.
Absolutely. Faf Du Plessis needs to play the role of the aggressor. If they are chasing anything 160, 170 plus, he would need to play that role. He cannot bat at the strike rate of 135, which he has done, because Virat Kohli is not getting the starts, and Virat Kohli will open with Du Plessis. So therefore, pressure on Du Plessis to not only score big but to score at a high rate, which he hasn't done in this tournament. But I think it is time now that Glenn Maxwell fires. He hasn't done much in the tournament. He's got those 30s, 40s, 150, but he hasn't been that destructive batsman we saw last year for RCB when he changed from Kings 11 to RCB. So Glenn Maxwell, the batting structure is such that if the big three don't fire, it puts enormous pressure on likes of Patidar and Lomlor, rather inexperienced, and then Dinesh Karthik, then and Shahbaz Ahmed, who've done well in this tournament. Of course, Dinesh Karthik, a brilliant finisher. But because the top five has three marquee batsmen, the onus is on them to fire.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's also take a look at Gujarat Titans playing 11. Like we said, just one change for them. Lockie Ferguson coming in, and he was actually very good in the first half of the tournament. Tad expensive towards the second half, and that's why he was made to sit out, but he's back in. Alzari Joseph sits out, but this is a team that's got a wonderful story to tell, and a story that all of them will remember for a long time, having been the first team to qualify for the playoffs. Given that this is their debut season, it's come together. The whole team has come together beautifully, and you find a balance in the side that you haven't seen in some of the other side. And also what you find is a lot of the players who are punching above their weight. There are also players who are doing well when it wasn't expected out of them. Case in point, David Miller, Rahul Tewatia, they've all done exceptionally well to help this team get to this place.
Absolutely. if you again give me this team at the start of the tournament, I'll still say they won't qualify.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of Gujarat Titans. That batting lineup, I mean, at the start of the tournament, it doesn't inspire confidence. But Hardik Pandya, back in form, 300 plus runs. Gill, aggressor at the start of the tournament. Ridhiman Shah, cameos from the top of the order. Matthew Wade, yeah, not so much, but 1 or 2 good knocks. David Miller, brilliant in the middle order, finishing the match. Tivatia, what a finisher again. And of course, bowling, yes, the bowling we expected to do well, but the batting has made the difference for Gujarat Titans. What a wonderul debut, first team to reach the playoff, a guaranteed top 2 finish. And let's see where they go from there.
And also, hats off to Hardik Pandya for his captaincy.
Absolutely.
For him to, go against the trend in the first half of the tournament, batting first, winning games. Once again today, because a lot of teams have struggled despite results not going in favor of the team chasing. Captains have, time and again we've seen in this tournament, have gone to field first after winning the toss. Hardik Pandya again choosing to bat first and saying that, you know what, I believe in the power of my batting as a team, and we're going to go out there and set up a target for you.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
that's positive thinking, really.
Absolutely, and I still remember that match 35. We were all tired. Who will break this jinx?
Yeah.
When will it happen? Match 35. Hardik Pandya wins the toss, elects to bat first, and there was standing ovation. So, Hardik Pandya, he's been that captain. He's been a captain who surprised all of us. He surprised the cricketing fraternity, by some of his decisions on the field.
Yeah.
His coming on to bowl in the power play, batting at number 4. So he's done a lot of interesting things on the field, not expected of Hardik Pandya. Carried the team brilliantly. He's been a trendsetter also in the tournament, and therefore we see GT at the top of the charts.
And also, it's heartening to see a lot of his teammates coming out and talking about how good a captain he's been, how he's an inspirational leader. And again, at the beginning of the tournament, with Hardik Pandya's first stint as captain of any IPL team, or for any team, in fact, people would have thought, well, he's not really got that personality. Do you think he can be the leader? But he's shown that he can be the leader. In fact, now there is this talk that he could, in fact, be captaining Indian team against South Africa for the upcoming series. So how things have changed from the beginning of the IPL to now. But this team has looked good. And one major reason, we've talked about the batting, Nikhil, but one major reason has also been Rashid Khan. His performance with the ball, it's incredible, the economy with which he's bowled in this tournament. And on top of that, we've seen some brilliant cameos from him with the bat as well.
Absolutely. He is just a genius, Rashid Khan of Afghanistan. Year after year after year for, in the IPL for Sunrisers Hyderabad, he used to get 15 to 20 wickets at an economy rate of, between 6.5 and 7. So Hardik Pandya has been, Rashid Khan has been absolutely sensational with the ball in the tournament. And add to that his cameos. What a wonderful and consistent former. What a story of Rashid Khan from Afghanistan. What a great story.
Okay, now like we've been saying, this is a do-or-die encounter for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Let's take a look at what they need to do today. They've got to win the game today. They will be out if they lose today to Gujarat Titans. They will be out of the tournament. There's no way they can be then part of this playoffs. But 14 points is what they've got from 13 matches, which means 7 wins for them. But that's the crucial part. A very high negative net run rate of minus 0.323, which means that not only did they win their games by close margins, but they've lost their games by huge margins. And that's where the problem has been for Royal Challengers Bangalore. And this is the reason this may come back to hurt them. In fact, will, because they need Delhi to lose now from here on.
Absolutely. If they lose this match, what they want is that Delhi has to lose by a massive margin, which is almost impossible in 2020 cricket. So if RCB lose, they are out. For all practical purposes, RCB
Correct.
is out of the tournament. And therefore, they have all to play for. I mean, this is it. Do or die, this is it for them.
And that's why pressure on Royal Challengers Bangalore. Gujarat have nothing really to lose in this game, but they've still decided to go in with their best playing 11. They haven't benched anyone. They want to carry on with this momentum of winning, going into the playoffs with a win. But let's also now, as we've been saying, look at what RCB need to do. They need their big three to fire. Virat Kohli needs to fire. Faf Du Plessis needs to fire, and so does Glenn Maxwell. That has been the problem with them. Even when Faf Du Plessis has been scoring runs, his strike rate has come down because the man at the other end is struggling. And then in the middle order as well, you don't have Glenn Maxwell, giving crucial contributions.
Absolutely. It's imperative that Virat Kohli, even if he doesn't score quickly, he stays at the crease, because that will allow Faf Du Plessis to play aggressor. If Faf Du Plessis doesn't play aggressor and they're chasing a big target, it will become almost impossible for RCB. You're expecting too much from Maxwell, who hasn't been in great form. And again, Dinesh Karthik can't individually win you matches in every game.
Yeah.
So therefore, it is imperative for Virat Kohli to, if he starts well, yes, he can do what he wants with the bat. But given his form, he should at least play the role of the anchor, allow Faf Du Plessis to play aggressor. Also, it's important they have a base so that Maxwell can unleash himself. He's been, he's not been himself, because I think, when a batsman like Virat Kohli gets out cheaply, it affects the rest of the team, the batsman to follow, especially someone like Maxwell. So I think Maxwell needs that cushion of a good start by Kohli and Du Plessis, and then we might see the best of Maxwell.
That's right. The one good positive thing for Royal Challengers Bangalore is that Rajat Patidar, he has done well at that number 3 position. So that's good to see in the last couple of games. Okay, now let's also look at Royal Challengers bowling. There was never any doubt of Royal Challengers' strength when it comes to their bowling. Nor was there any doubt when it came to their batting, but it's a different story. But bowling has come good in the tournament. Ranindu Hasaranga, 23 wickets at a strike rate of 11.7, economy of 7.48. He is in the top 2 in that race for Purple Cap with Yuzvendra Chahal. But exceptional bowling, and we've seen him, turn the match around.
Absolutely.
More than once.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He bowls a lot of googlies. He was the highest wicket taker in the World T20. Imagine highest wicket taker World T20, and now amongst the top 2 in the best league, cricket league in the world, T20 league in the world. So, Hasaranga is now a world-class performer, and absolutely brilliant. I mean, because of him, RCB hasn't missed the services of Yuzvendra Chahal, who they let go. We all thought is a big miss, but Hasaranga has at least done that job for them. Harshal Patel has been good. We've discussed Josh Hazelwood, although he was strong for 64 in the last match. Overall, he has good numbers, very good economy rate in the power play. Siraj was dropped today, and that was sort of expected, because he was the weak link in the bowling, surprisingly. So let's see what Siddharth Kaul does today.
Okay, also for Gujarat Titans now, like we said, they don't have much to lose today. They would just want to end the group stage on a high. But how good has this team been? Gill, Miller, Hardik with 300 plus runs. Who would have thought before this tournament began, and we keep saying it again and again, that this is how brilliant their batting would be. And then Tewatia finishing the games. David Miller in the middle order, consistent. Shami giving you wickets in the power plays. The list goes on, Nikhil. The
list goes on, and if you see, no one has done badly for them. Everyone has played their part. It is very rare for a team that it has 7 to 8 players who have done, let's say, who've achieved 80 out of 100, if you give them marks, right? This team has 7 to 8 players who've done a 80 on 100 plus, and therefore they are at the top of the points table. As we discussed at the beginning of the show, they've had 6 to 7 different player of the match performances. That is very rare. Usually the same 2-3 players keep repeating in a season.
Correct.
So which
is what we've seen with Lucknow Super Giants, with KL Quinton de Kock. We've seen it with Rajasthan Royals, Joss Butler.
Correct. And so this team, basically, it's a collective performance, and therefore it is so special what Gujarat Titans have achieved.
Okay, now the X Factor players. Who are the players who can turn the match around today? We spoke about Rahul Tewatia, and he has to be if Gujarat Titans playing, because again, Rahul Tewatia was bought for a lot of money, but you wondered whether he can do it again this season. He's not done it once, twice, but more than 4 times, right? 4 times, at least 3 to 4 times, high impact knocks, and 215 runs at a strike rate of 149.3. And in fact, the last game, that they played against Royal Challengers Bangalore. This man won the match for them by hitting a six of the last ball.
Absolutely, absolutely, brilliant performance by Rahul Tewatia. As we've said many times, in our shows, you can do what he's doing, for one season. It could be a fluke, it could be luck, but you cannot do it in the second season. That too, three times. He scored 340 plus knocks at a strike rate of almost double, almost 200. Yeah. In a situation where they've needed 14 to 15 runs per over, hitting sixes of the last ball to win. I mean, he's doing a Javed Mianda to Chetan Sharma. So, Rahul Tewatia, you don't expect, he doesn't look, just like Dinesh Karthik, he doesn't look very, you're not intimidated by, like, when you look at Andre Russell, you're worried. I mean, the ball could go anywhere. You could be like, he could tear into pieces, but Rahul Tewatia looks very, harmless, but, very, very effective with the bat,
In fact, let's take a look at that scorecard from the last game that these two teams played. And there you see it. Tewatia playing a very important role. David Miller, helping him with a partnership. But Virat Kohli's 58. That's what also sticks out for me. He got a 50, but it was a very slow 50.
Very slow 50. I mean, there were mixed reviews, I remember, of the match. Some people were happy that he got the run, but those were basically Virat Kohli fans. Yeah. Otherwise, it was a very patchy knock by Virat Kohli. Basically, at a run of ball, maybe cost RCB the match. 10 to 20 runs. But again, that partnership, see, Miller and Tewatia unbeaten. Both unbeaten and taking GT to an unbelievable victory of the last ball. So, and these matches, both the teams remember. And therefore, today GT is batting first. But still, Tewatia and Miller today, it could be 116, 18 overs, them batting. In the last 2 overs, they may just take the score to 200 plus. So therefore, that partnership in the lower order, that will worry RCB.
Okay. Also, for all of you who are just joining us, the toss has been won by Gujarat Titans. They have opted to bat first. Hardik Pandya at the toss saying he'd like to bat first. Just one change for Gujarat Titans. Alzarri Joseph sits out and Lockie Ferguson comes in. So Gujarat Titans winning the toss, batting first. Ferguson replaces Alzarri Joseph. For Royal Challengers Bangalore, one change for them as well. Mohammad Siraj, who's been expensive in the tournament, he sits out and Siddharth Kaul is in. Take a look at the playing 11 for Royal Challengers Bangalore. And as we've been saying, Faf Du Plessis has been scoring runs, but that Virat Kohli needs to score runs. Glenn Maxwell hasn't been consistent. Rajat Patidar, a positive. Maipal Lamror has played a couple of knocks, which have been good. But the top three haven't been, haven't really been consistent, and that has been the problem. Then the bowling as well. Josh Hazelwood in the last game that they played against Punjab was hit all over the park. 64 most expensive figures this season. No wickets for him in that last game. Harshal Patel, he's been good. Varun Hasaranga, standout bowler for them. Let's see what Siddharth Kaul does today. But that's the team. Let's also take a look at Gujarat's playing 11.
We have Hardik Pandya, the captain. He started bowling again, which is a positive for GT. He started the tournament, bowling in the power play, which surprised everyone. He had a brilliant economy rate in the power play. Shubman Gill, again, a couple of 70-plus scores in the first 2 matches, started off aggressor. That was very important, a big statement made by him at the start of the tournament. Saha has been revelation at the top of the order. He's providing the spark at the top of the order. Then we have Matthew Wade, David Miller and Tewatia, the most prolific pair in the lower order. Rashid Khan, absolutely brilliant in the middle overs, also providing the cameos. We have Sai Kishore, Lockie Ferguson, a lot of wickets in the power play. Mohammad Shami, amongst the best new ball bowlers in the tournament, along with Umesh Yadav. And then we got Yash Dayal. So, a very potent, a very, prolific 11 led by Hardik Pandya.
But all eyes will also be now on Shubman Gill and Wriddhiman Saha, and what's the kind of start they gave Gujarat Titans, because I think the pressure definitely is on Royal Challengers Bangalore, and if these two get off to a flying start, then things are going to get difficult for RCB. But also, we've talked about the X-Factor players, Rahul Tewatia being one of them, Dinesh Karthik. Let's also talk a bit about Dinesh Karthik. In the first half especially, you saw Dinesh Karthik just I mean, he was dazzling everybody with his six-hitting skills, finishing games for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Look at that strike rate, Nikhil, 193, and at death it gets better to 229. Comes in with that mission of just going with, I mean, sort of maintaining that strike rate. We've seen Dinesh Karthik play some brilliant high-impact knocks.
Absolutely, and also a strike rate of 185 in the middle over shows that whenever he comes out to bat, he accelerates immediately. He doesn't waste deliveries. So therefore, he's starting off well and then just taking his, providing the final impetus. Therefore, he's been brilliant, especially in the first half of the tournament, as we have discussed so many times, when Virat and Maxwell were definitely not doing well. There was pressure. RCB didn't have a great start. They needed a tempo to finish off the innings. Match after match, it was Dinesh Karthik along with Shahbaz Ahmed. Much like Tewatia and Miller, it's been Shahbaz Ahmed and Dinesh Karthik for them. This pair taking them out of the hole. Shahbaz providing the support tag. Dinesh Karthik, the flourish. And therefore, RCB is in a position today to at least hope of making the playoffs.
True. Okay, now what about the key batters? Let's take a look at them. One has to be between Virat Kohli and Mohammad Shami. And again, Mohammad Shami, this is going to be interesting. 5 dismissals, 10 innings, 133 is the strike rate. I don't know what to say about this. Virat Kohli versus Mohammad Shami. How are you seeing this play out?
I'm only seeing it one way. I'm seeing 61 balls and 6 dismissals.
Oh my gosh, don't say that. Virat Kohli fans will troll you.
I am a Virat Kohli fan too, but it's going to be difficult for Virat Kohli. I mean, it's going to be difficult for Virat Kohli because Shami is bowling brilliantly with the new ball. Virat Kohli is not in great form. That head-to-head record is worrying if you're a Kohli fan. 60 balls, 5 wickets. So, strike rate is irrelevant if you've dismissed him, 5 times in 10 innings in 60 balls. So this is worrisome for Virat Kohli and RCB.
I wonder what he's going through right now. We've talked about this so often, but there's an interview Virat Kohli has just done, I think, and I was just overhearing some parts of it, and where he said it's just one person about him taking rest. He said it's just one person, that's Ravi, who said that I should take rest. Not anybody else, and so I don't see that. I mean, the sense that I got, the gist of it is, the sense that I got is that Virat Kohli does not want to rest.
I mean, we can understand from his predicament also that he hasn't scored runs. If he rests, what if the batsman who replace him? And there are a number of upcoming Indian batsmen. They take up his position. Then how do you justify getting Virat Kohli back? So he wants to. If he wants to rest, he wants to rest after scoring runs. So I can understand his position also. It's going to be interesting how India and Virat Kohli deal when South Africa comes. I mean, he's definitely not playing the South Africa home series. That's what I'm hearing, because he'll be going.
The other thing interesting that he says in that interview or where in a video is where he's saying he's actually going through the happiest phase of his life. I guess he's referring to personal life. And he's saying he's not finding any self-worth or value in what he's doing on the field now.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is...
But he's saying that, so this is what he said, quote, I am actually in the happiest phase of my life. I'm not finding any self-worth or value in what I do on the field. I'm way past that phase. This is the phase of evolution for me.
Well, I think...
And this is something he's spoken to someone in Star Sports. So.
Yeah, I mean, is he contemplating retirement? I mean, that's what it means.
This
I mean, But
anyway.
I think it just means that failure doesn't phase him anymore, because he's in a happy space with his personal life. According to him, he has achieved everything a batsman can. And now it's, anything else is a bonus. And that's what I get from that.
So this is what he's saying. It's not a lot of people who mentioned it. There's only one person precisely who's mentioned, which is Ravi Bhai. And that's because he's seen from close quarters over the last 6-7 years the reality of the situation that I've been in. The amount of cricket that I have played and the ups and downs and the toll that it takes on you to play 3 formats of the game, plus the IPL for 10, 11 years non-stop with 7 years of captaincy in between. And he says that a break, if he took that option, could also allow him a mental reset.
Okay, so he's not close to the idea.
Yeah, so he says, I don't think there's anything wrong in that. It's a very healthy thing to think of, especially with the amount of cricket that we play, the amount of cricket that he's played in 10, 11 years. But he's not said openly that he wants to take a break. So this is interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Okay, just coming back then to the battles. Matchups that we're looking forward to today, Dinesh Karthik versus Rashid Khan. This is also interesting. 7 innings. He's been dismissed thrice. 107 is the strike rate.
Yeah, I mean, GT would want that as soon as Dinesh Karthik comes out to bat in the middle over phase, they get him out right away, and Rashid Khan will be operating then for sure. I think Hardik Pandya would know these head-to-head stats because that's the best bet of getting Dinesh Karthik out, because if he stays till the death, we know what he's done in the death overs, and that the Titans would not want. So Rashid Khan versus Karthik would be interesting in that middle overs phase of play.
Okay, then the last one, Rahul Tewatia versus Harshal Patel. 3 innings where Tewatia has actually
Hammered him.
190 is the strike rate, 21 balls, 40 runs.
Absolutely. This battle will play out in the death overs. It will be batting first. So, Tewatia would be setting a target for the Titans in this match. And it's going to be interesting to see. Harshal Patel has been guilty of giving away a few runs. Although in some matches he's bowled brilliantly at the death, he has a lot of variety, but he's also conceded a few runs. So it's going to be interesting about how Harshal controls not only Tewatia but David Miller in the death overs.
Okay, just also adding to the Virat Kohli conversation for all of you who've been listening. He says, I'm just going to clarify, this is what he said on self-worth on the field, because we said, could this mean something more? He says, I'm not finding any self-worth or value on what I do on the field. I'm way past that phase, which is what he's saying. He's not attaching self-worth to his performances.
Correct.
And he's saying that this is a phase of evolution for me, not to say that I don't have the same drive. My drive will never die down. The day my drive goes away, I will not be playing this game. But to understand that some things are not controllable. The only controllables you have are things that you can work towards, which is working hard on the field and in life as well. And from that point of view, I feel more balanced than I have ever been. So there, we're just putting it out there for all
very philosophical. Karam kar, phal ki ichha mat kar. That's what he's practicing.
That's exactly what he is saying. But I think he is in that phase. Also, I mean, this has been a long enough phase for him, so, he's had enough time to sit and contemplate on what seems to be going wrong and going right. Okay, Wriddhiman Saha and Shubman Gill are opening the innings for Gujarat Titans. Let's also quickly take a look at the points table before we wrap this up. Siddharth Kaul opens the attack for RCB. How do you look at that?
It's interesting, a little surprised. Why won't they give the opening over to Josh Hazelwood? Siddharth Kaul, let's see, maybe surprise. That's the only reason.
It's his birthday today.
Who, Siddharth Kaul?
Yes.
That can't be the reason.
Possibly, it's your birthday. Go
maybe
get some
maybe he's inspired, yeah.
Siddharth Kaul opens the attack for Royal Challengers Bangalore. Important for Gujarat Titans to get off to a good start, because if they do, Royal Challengers Bangalore will be in trouble. I mean, this is, I do see if this team can get to even 170.
With the bowling attack they have, it's going to be difficult.
It's going to be difficult. Okay, then that's it. Are we going to get the points table? If we do, we can take a look at that. Yeah. There you have it. Gujarat sitting right at the top. Happy, comfortable, chilling, as we call it, at the top.
Absolutely. And then LSG, they've qualified yesterday. Rajasthan Royals almost there. But the contest for the 4th position is essentially between Delhi Capitals and Royal Challengers Bangalore. Equation is as simple as this. If RCB win today, they would hope that DC lose, then RCB qualify. If RCB lose today, they are eliminated. Forget mathematically, they are eliminated from the tournament. Then 99% DC will qualify unless they lose badly and one of SRH and Punjab Kings wins by a heavy margin, which I don't see happening.
Okay. Do we bother to go and look at the second half of the table?
No.
Yes, we will. Okay, Kolkata Knight Riders at 12 points. They're out. PBKS, well, lots of things need to go their way for them to make it. But my goodness, the 3 most successful teams are the teams that have gotten out
first time
of
in
the
IPL
tournament.
history. First time they've not made the playoffs.
First Mumbai.
And in the bottom half.
Okay, so there you have it. Prediction time.
I'm going to eliminate RCB. Nothing personal. I'm going to eliminate RCB. GT will win this match.
I agree with him today. I'm not going to shut my eyes so that he can call me Shakuntala Devi again and not predict anything. I'll just say RCB are not winning today. Don't troll me. News9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to if you want to get the latest from the world of sports, dates, analysis, interviews, everything. Do subscribe to that. And that's it from Nikhil and me. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. क्या कह रहे थे?